Good evening and welcome everyone, dear teachers, students, and the speaker of the day, Dr. Manjushri Sardeshpande. Dear students, I feel privileged to announce Learn from Home webinar series for a higher level English medium schools organized by MNET with the technical support of iNet Connect, featuring speakers like Dr. Manjushri Sardeshpande, the chairperson of the Board of Studies, Balbharti Pune, Mr. Nadeem Khan, academic coordinator of Chess Ra Aurangabad and Board of Studies member, Balbharti Pune, Mr. Avinash Rade, Board of Studies member, Balbharti Pune, Ms. Renita Augustine, State Resource Person of Chess Ra Aurangabad, Ms. Vinita Nair, a resource person of English New Syllabus, and she's also an author of several non-academic and academic books, Mrs. Sylvia Francis, State Resource Person of Chess Ra Aurangabad. Learn from Home series started from 4th of August 2020 and is going to continue till 21st of August daily, except Wednesdays and Sundays at 6 p.m. This series will provide a wonderful platform to know and understand your English activity sheet. I request all our participants to be a part of this series and would guide you to deal your English activity sheet according to state board norms and criteria. And we have with us our eminent speaker, Dr. Manjushri Sardeshpande. She will be talking about question number 6A, that is information transfer, 1 and 2 with options. Dr. Manjushri Sardeshpande is MA, BEd, LLB, PhD. She is the head of the department English and IQAC coordinator at R.S. Mundal Dharmapet Art and Commerce College, Nagpur. She has a teaching experience of 29 years. She is a poet, writer, editor, translator, and a teacher trainer. Her poem, Man Fears Man, was prescribed for Standard 10 State Board, Personality Development. Her poems have been published in newspapers and anthologies. She is a PhD supervisor. She has many national and international papers to her credit. She has received the Best Paper Presentation Award for her paper on communicative approach. She has translated Sri Ranga Hari book, Dharma and Culture, which has been well received. She is into teacher training since 1999. She was the coordinator and resource person for the in-service teacher training program for junior college teachers for nearly 10 years. She is a resource person for orientation program and refresher course for senior college teachers. She has been actively involved in the preparation of textbooks for all standards, a KG to PG, and imparting training to teachers regarding the new prepared textbooks. She has won 2 RELO US e-teacher scholarships. She has completed a UGC-sponsored minor research project, preparation of emotionally intelligent students, friendly structure on communication skills in English. She is the chairperson of English Language Committee Textbook Bureau, Balbharti. She is a member of the Board of Studies of RTM Nagpur University, Mumbai College of Commerce, BMCC Pune, and Kavi Kulguru Kalidas Sanskrit University Ramtek. She is a vice president of Vidya Bharati Higher Education, New Delhi. She is the examiner of Business English Certificate course for Cambridge. We welcome you, ma'am, and we are very honored that you are there today to guide the students of Standard 10. I request you to take over.
Thank you, Renu. And hello, everyone. My dear students, teachers, and people who have joined on YouTube. Today, we are going to discuss about information transfer. Let me share my screen. So today we are going to discuss question number 6, A1 and A2. So students, do you find this interesting and do you find it easy? I feel information transfer is really comparatively an easier one, isn't it? Renu, can we unmute some students so that I can get feedback?
Okay, let me.
Just maybe some children.
Okay.
If if it is disturbing, then we might mute. Otherwise, it will be.
Yeah, I'll do it. 1 minute. Huh?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Renu, otherwise I'll start, and in the end, if students don't understand, then maybe we can ask them questions so that they can join, okay?
Yes, ma'am, it is very easy.
Yeah, is it easy? Okay. Then which areas do you find difficult? At least there are so many things here in verbal to non-verbal and non-verbal to verbal. Let me see that whether I can take the examples of at least one from each of these which are given. Otherwise, if I don't complete, if I fall short of time, then we can just discuss orally. Okay. So now we'll start. Are you ready? Okay.
Yes,
Read the information. Now, this is the question. Read the information given in the verbal form, understand it, make note of the key points, and present it graphically, either as a fact file, leaflet, tabular form, bar graph. There is graph, there is chart, tree diagram, flow chart, note making, do's and don'ts. Okay. So these are the verbal to non-verbal and non-verbal to verbal. Either there would be a graphical presentation, or there will be a paragraph, and then you will have to make it into a graphical these things. That is from verbal to non-verbal and from non-verbal to verbal. Now, there are certain things which I would like to inform, that use a pencil to draw the diagram. So if you're drawing that diagram, if you're making the pie chart, if you're making the table, then you should draw it with a pencil, but fill the information with a pen. Okay. Then observe the given non-verbal data and study it carefully. Make a note of the key points and write it in the form of verbal paragraph in a systematic and logical manner. So first you should see how if you can understand the main points, and then you have to write them down in a logical manner. Then use appropriate punctuation marks. There should not be grammatical mistakes, okay? And there should be coherence. The paragraph should be a one united whole. The language used must be simple, logical, and lucid. There is a little spelling mistake here. Okay. Then we move ahead. Now let us see the marks which are allotted to this question. The marks allotted are 5 marks. But children, this is so easy that you should be able to score 5 out of 5. Nobody should lose marks here. So if we are talking about verbal to non-verbal, verbal to non-verbal means, verbal means there is a paragraph given, something which is written, and you have to make either a table or a graph or something like that. So for that, title carries 1 mark. Coverage of all the points should be covered. Then you'll get 2 marks. And appropriate graphic layout. So if it is a table, if it is a pie chart, you have to see that the graphic layout is properly done. Then you'll get 1 mark. And overall presentation should also be perfect. Then you'll get 1 mark. So this is the division of the 5 marks. Then from non-verbal to verbal, again, here also we have title. Everywhere the title carries 1 mark. So students, don't forget to give the title. And it is very easy for you to write the title from the paragraph or from the description which is given. Use of the given points will carry 2 marks. Then grammar, 1 mark. And appropriate language and conclusion, 1 mark. So now let us see whether we follow all this. Let us take one example and see whether we have covered all the points, how to go about doing this. Now let us move ahead. I'm going to just go a little bit faster because there are many examples which need to be done. So first we come to fact file. And now students, if this is, if you can read it, if the font is up to the mark, you can read it. Read the following information and complete the following table below with information pertaining to Tulsi. Okay. Yes, I cannot see the whole. Oh, wait. Okay. Several researchers over the years have proved what Indians have been saying for ages, that Tulsi is the, now just let me see if I can stop this video. Okay, now it is visible. So several researchers over the years have proved what Indians have been saying for ages, that Tulsi is the queen of herbs. Tulsi is found in every Indian household and worshipped as a divine being in itself. Indian practices include consuming Tulsi leaves every day as a part of the prasadam, which is handed out after worshipping your gods. And it turns out there might be a lot of science behind it. Scientists and researchers are now asking people to add Tulsi leaves, Tulsi infused water, or even Tulsi extract capsules in their daily diets. Why? As it protects the human body from various diseases. Tulsi is a known adaptogen, which is to say its benefits are adapted to the body. It is interacting with no one to this day knows how adaptogens assess needs. So no one knows how adaptogens assess needs. However, more studies have revealed that Tulsi is also a mood booster, and regular consumption of Tulsi may lead to alleviating the symptoms of depression. Now there will be a table given there. Now you have to fill the table. Now here, let us see if you can fill the information. Now what do you think Tulsi reduces what? Just now I have read the passage and it's a very small one, very simple one also. So Tulsi reduces what? What do you think Tulsi reduces? Yes, anybody? Now students, see, when you are doing the passage, many a times you might find the words, like for example, people might be looking out for words related to Tulsi reduces, and then maybe they might not find what does Tulsi reduce. Why? Because here in this passage, there is another word which has been used for reduces. That is, but if you read the passage twice, you will be able to get the, yes, someone has Vedant Pond has given the correct answer that it reduces depression. Yes. Now, we'll see the next question. Tulsi reduces depression. Very good. Protects the body from various diseases. Yes. What protects the body from various diseases? Can anybody tell me? What protects the body from various diseases? Yes, somebody has given Tulsi extract. Only Tulsi extract? Only Tulsi extract? Vedant? Only Vedant is giving the answers. Yes. Others? So now we have to go faster because we want to do the other passages also. So Tulsi, here you get answers. Tulsi leaves, Tulsi infused water, and Tulsi extract. So all the three. So you have to pay attention whether you cover all the points or not. Then Indians call Tulsi what? What do the Indians call Tulsi? Yes. What do the Indians call Tulsi? Now here, see, it is known as, what is it known as? Yes, somebody says Queen of Herbs. Very good. So it is called, but Indians call it Queen of Herbs. Then there is a lot of science behind what? Behind what? There is a lot of science behind. Yes. Now you should be able to give the appropriate words. Yes, there is a lot of science behind. See here, there might be a lot of science behind it, but behind what? Many people feel that the answer should be here. Yes, but you have to read and see. Yes. There is a lot of science behind what? There is a lot of science behind consuming it every day. Yes, consuming Tulsi leaves every day. So can you see my cursor? So consuming Tulsi leaves every day. This is important. And many people, that's why they have it as prasadam. So after worshipping gods, they have it as prasadam. Yes, so you have to use Tulsi every day. So there is a science behind consuming Tulsi leaves every day. Okay. And then the last question is, this is known as, Tulsi is known as what? Tulsi is known as, yes, Tulsi is known as what? Anybody? Adaptogen. Very good. So now this was very easy. Now this type of a passage wherein the information is given in the passage, you just need to read the passage twice. If there is, like for example, in the last line, we had this word alleviating. But if you don't know the meaning, still by reading this particular line and understanding the context, you will come to know that it is Tulsi may lead to reducing, or it may alleviate, reduce what? The symptoms of depression. It may reduce depression. So we understand from we can guess the meaning of the word alleviating. Now we move on to the next one. Now this is a graph which is given. It is a bar graph. And now don't read the passage. When I say don't read, I know that most of you would read, but don't read. Just look at the bar graph and see what the bar graph is talking about. Yes, it is talking about Pakistan batting first in the ODIs. And it is not only talking about the batting first, but it is also showing you the statistical data about how many matches did Pakistan win and how many matches did Pakistan lose. But you have to see that it is not just about winning and losing. It is about when Pakistan batted first, when they decided to bat first, how many times did they win and how many times did they lose. So this is a very interesting, deliberately I have chosen this one for you children. I know everybody is interested in cricket and so many times you have seen the statistics, but we should be able to understand the graphs. So here, see, this is if you can see the cursor, the x-axis shows the years. Yes. So the graph shows the statistics from 1973 to 2013. And then on the y-axis, what is this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50? This is the number of matches which Pakistan have won or lost or whatever, but this is the number of matches. So here on one side, you have the number of matches, and on the x-axis, you have the years given. Okay, this is how you have to make the bar graph. So while you are making the bar graphs also, you have to see what information you'll write in the x-axis and what information you will be putting in the y-axis. So green, see here, we have two boxes. The green one, it shows what? 1. And the blue box shows lost. Now, looking at the graph, before we start writing, just have a look at the graph. You can see the green one. The green one is higher than the blue one, majority of the times. So, at the first glance, you understand that Pakistan, what is the conclusion which you, just by looking at the graph, what conclusion do you get? That Pakistan has won when they decided to take up the batting first, or when they were given the batting first, they majority times they have won. So this is the conclusion, and then we can explain it in the paragraph, discuss about each and every year, but that is the conclusion, because you know that after we discuss the paragraph, in the end you have to give the conclusion, because conclusion also carries 1 mark. So what is the title which you will give? This is the, now this is Pakistan batting first, already they have given here, but you can give another interesting title. It is the statistical, you can say it is the statistical analysis of Pakistan's batting, for statistical analysis of the analysis of the data showing Pakistan winning when they decided to bat first. So this is the sentence. Now, from this sentence, you make the title. Yes. After we do this, till then you can decide what title is to be given. It is very easy. The graph shows the performance of the Pakistan team when they batted first in the one-day international matches played. So this is the first sentence. What do we, when you are looking at this graph, what is it talking about? So that should be your first sentence. The graph shows, what does the graph show? It shows the performance of the Pakistan team when they batted first. This is more important. It just does not give you the analysis of Pakistan's performance, but it not because the performance maybe many times they might have batted second, but this is the graph which is talking about when Pakistan batted first. So the graph shows the performance of the Pakistan team when they batted first in the one-day international matches played. Pakistan played, now see, now after giving the first important and title sentence, this is not the title sentence, title is different, and the title sentence means it explains the gist of the things. What is it about? So Pakistan played 8 matches between 1973 and 1979. This is the first, we are talking about the matches which are being played between 73 and 79. So how many matches did they play? 8 total. And green shows 4 matches they have won and 4 matches they have lost. So here we cannot say anything because that is equal. Then we move on to the next one, 1980 to 1989. Here what do we see? That they have in all played 90 matches, but in 50 matches they have lost and only 40 matches they have won. Now, while writing the passage, you can just use different words and see how you can connect the sentences. So Pakistan played 8 matches between 1973 and 1979, out of which they won 4 matches and lost 4 matches. They played 90 matches between 1980 and 1989, out of which they won 40 and lost 50. Now similarly, now use a different connect, see if you can use different connectors. Similarly, from 1990 to 1999, they played 136 matches, in which they won 82 matches while batting first and lost 54 matches. I don't know whether the this thing is correct, but for 1990 and 1990 till 1999 and from 2000 to 2009, the same statistics have been given. but whatever is given here, we'll go by that. Then between 2000 and 2009, again, they again had a tally of 136 matches, in which they won 82 matches and lost 54. Now again, between 2010 and 2013, they won 22 matches and lost 18 out of 40 matches they played. So now you come to the conclusion. The overall performance graph shows that Pakistan won majority of the matches when they batted first. Yes. So you can give the title Performance of the Pakistan Team. Okay. Now we move on. If you have understood this, we can move on to the next. Now this is very, I think there should not be any difficulty while understanding these bar graphs, because if you can just look at the x-axis and look at the y-axis, you will be able to understand the information. There is a difference of, see here, 10, 20. So there is a difference of 10 runs. So if there is something between 80 and if it is 82, how you have to make the bar graph? It is just because you can make 10 divisions here, and from the 10 divisions you can see where the second division is, and you can accordingly mark your 82. The 82 mark will be here. So while you are making, if you want to make a bar graph also, this is how you are going to make it. From the information, you can do vice versa. You can, from the bar graph, you can write the information, and from the paragraph, you can convert it into a bar graph. Okay. If we have time, we can come back and do a paragraph and see if we can make the bar graph. So, but I think this is very simple. Here, on one side, on the x-axis, you have to, if you have the paragraph given, you mark the years, and then you see the details which are given, and according to the details, you make the bar graph. So see how much of information is communicated through this bar graph. There is number of runs, there is on the x-axis years, there is also the data regarding matches, and at a glance you come to know the details. Now let us move ahead. Yes, many of the students find pie charts a little bit difficult. Now let us see how to make the pie charts. Now let us read this small passage. Water is life. It is a universal solvent and an important resource. The annual usage of water differs in various sectors of Maharashtra. The major occupation of Maharashtra being agriculture, the maximum amount of available water is used for irrigation, that is 86%. So when you know that pie charts talk about percentages, so here you have got percentage here. So now pay attention to what it is. While reading only, you should pay attention to the percentage and what that percentage is talking about. So here it is talking about water which is used for irrigation. So 86% of water is used for irrigation. Now the distant following place, 77% is contributed by domestic sector, including drinking, washing, cooking, etc. So for domestic, in the domestic sector, what is usage of water is 7%. Then there is a close competition of other sectors, which is not far away with 6% usage of water. So here they have not given which sectors, but they've just said other sectors. So we can say other sectors, 6%. Now, one of the key factors which plays an important role in the development of the nation is industrial sector. The consumption of water by industrial sector is very negligible, which is 1%. Now, we know energy sector plays a vital role in the development of a nation. In this sector, the use of water is almost nil. So here we don't need to show anything. If we try to observe its place in the chart, we do realize that it holds 0% usage and is yet to open its account. So it is 0%. So if we look at these percentage, if you are short of time, just look at the percentage and what it is talking about, so that you will know. So 86% is about water used for irrigation, 7% is for domestic sector, and from the domestic sector, and then 6% is other sectors, and 1% is industrial sector. So this is the pie chart which shows the division. Now see, 86%, this blue portion tells you about irrigation. This is the majority portion, the usage of water. Irrigation, 86% is used for irrigation purposes. Then for domestic purposes, look at this red one. These blocks, they show you that red indicates this usage is for domestic ones. Here you can write the percentages also if you want. Then green shows other sector, and this small purple thing shows this one. This is 1%. It is for industrial use. Now, maybe here this might seem to be, because I have made it with the help of this thing, Excel, I got it done very fast. But you know, in your papers, even if you don't have, you can make this very easily, because in English we want, we are not going to check the accuracy as much, but still it should come to near perfection. But let us see how you can reach to that, how you can make a pie chart. So this is the easiest example. Just if maybe you have a geometry box with you, you can make a circle, and then you can just, you know that this is 360 degrees. If you divide the circle, the whole circle is 100%. But if you divide it, this portion from this portion divides this circle into two hemispheres. So both the hemispheres, northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, this portion, half portion is 50%. This half portion is also 50%. So then you can see how I have divided the circle, and it has now become very convenient for you. So now, can you see my cursor? Because only if you can see the cursor, you will know how to make the divisions. So this is 50-50. Then again, you have divided it into, just divided it into 4 parts. So these 4 parts would be then 25, 25, 25, and 25. So this is see this 1/4 portion is 25. This is 25. So these 4 portions, now you've got these 4 portions in this. If you divide it in 90 degrees angle, if you divide it in 90 degrees angle, what will you get? 25 percent. Then now again, if you want 1%, because you want to reduce it to 1%, see how you can reduce it to 1%. Now you have 25. This whole portion is 25. This whole portion is 25. Divided into half again. 25 is 12.5. Again, you reduce it half. Again, this is 12 means 6. And again, divide it into half portion. Then this will be 6, then 3. So in this way, you can divide the pie chart, and you can make convert it into percentage. So this degrees can be converted into percentages. There are other ways of converting the degrees into percentage. You know, 360 degrees is 100%. So that means 3.6 degree will be 1%. So that is all. That is how you can do it. With the help of a protractor, you can mark 3.6, but that is very, time consuming. So this is how I have done, and this can be done in a very simple way. So if you go on dividing, and that too, you just need to do it because you have one big portion that is of 86%. Irrigation has 86%. So you know that at least you are going to require this whole 50%. Then this 25 means 50, 60, 75%. And you are going to need a little bit of this portion. So so if I divide this, I'll get something. Here I can make it 1%. Then count these 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if you divide it into 3 portions, automatically you'll get a 6. You'll get 6 divisions. So you'll get that 6 division part also. Right now, I'm not able to use the board. Otherwise, I would have showed how to divide these into small divisions. And then one division you can count as 1%. that you can show for industrial purposes. Then count those small divisions. If you count those 6 divisions, then mark that portion with another color and show how it can be used for the 6% that is for other sectors. And then you mark again for the 7% that is for domestic sector. So this is in short how you need to go about doing it. Then we move on to the next one. This is now the tree diagram. You are in the habit of doing tree diagrams. Let us see. I have taken a simple passage, and in the passage itself, while reading it, you come to know which information falls under which category, so that you should be able to find out, because tree diagrams, tables, all this which is given in the graphical, which is presented or depicted in the graphical way, this helps you to remember things, keep it like just by looking it, because it is the picture, it remains in your memory. That is why this graphical representation helps you to remember things. It helps you to memorize that. You don't need to learn it by heart, but just by looking at the picture, you can, in one glance, you can understand so many things. So let us see how we can do this tree diagram. The word literature is really hard to define. Many interpretations are made about the word, but all are incomplete. Some opine, now here we don't have any information. We just have come to know that we are talking something about literature here. Now some opine that literature is the mirror of life. Some others say that it is the criticism of life. So we have got 2 opinions about literature. One is mirror of life and the other is criticism of life. Now these you can highlight. So these are the things, 2 things. Now we are finding out the key points. So one is mirror of life. The other key point is criticism of life. Now whatever may be the controversy about the word, we may say that literature is that which reflects life. So now we got another point, and that is literature reflects life. So what are the 3 things? One is literature is mirror of life. Second is literature is criticism of life. And the third is literature reflects life. So while you are reading, just try to see what is that information, and we need to put it under which category. Now here, this information is about literature. Now the branches of literature. So now let us see the tree diagram also side by side. The title is literature. Now we've come to know that literature talks about what is literature. It is mirror of life, it is reflection of life, and it is criticism of life. So that is the 3 points are given here. Then below that, now read further. The branches of literature are, now what are the branches of literature? So write branches of literature. See how many branches of literature are there. 1, poetry. 2, drama. 3, novel. And 4th is short stories. So make 4. Here just see below the branches of literature, make 4 divisions. And now we are going to see what falls under branches of literature. The first is poetry. So in the first place, write poetry. In the second one, you write drama. The third is novel, and the 4th is short story. Now, again, we have got some more information which will fall under poetry. Poetry is of 2 kinds. Now, what are these 2 kinds? Imaginative and realistic. So now we've got information about something which comes under poetry. That poetry is of 2 kinds. Now, what are these 2 kinds? So make 2 divisions here. So now these 2 branches, for poetry, make 2 more branches. Now the one branch will, you write under one branch imaginative, and the other is realistic. Okay. Then under drama, see, drama is again either a comedy or a tragedy. So we require again 2 branches here. One is comedy and one is tragedy. The novels are also of many kinds. Now what are these kinds? So see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need to make 5 branches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What all things are you going to write? They are historical, psychological, realistic, scientific, and regional. Now under short story, the last one is short story. Short story is one which stands very close to life. So we've got 1 point. and that is close to life, and again in spite of little scope. So there is little scope. Okay, there is very little scope here. You cannot go on expanding because it is a short story. So there's all the points we have covered in this tree diagram. So the most important thing is when you are making a tree diagram that the branches should be properly done. Then all the points should be covered. See, and you should give a proper title to it. See, and if you cover all, and it should be a good presentation. If you have covered everything, but if it is not what you say legible, if something cannot be read, if you have not drawn the diagram properly, if it is untidy, then you will not get the 1 mark. But if it has been done in a proper way, wherein all the branches are visible and all the branch and all the information falls under correct category, then you will get the total 5 marks. So now we move on to the next one, and vice versa. We can do it. Just if you are given the tree diagram, you can write the paragraph here. Looking at the title itself, it tells you, see here, literature. What is the definition of literature? So literature talks about, you can write it in your own words. Literature talks about literature is a mirror of life. It reflects life. Here again, there is just a spelling mistake. The C is dropped here. So reflection of life and then criticism of life. Okay. So these are the 3 definitions. Then what are the branches of literature? Then the branches of literature are poetry, drama, novel, and short story. This is how you can go on making your sentences. But in the other, graphical, with the help of other graphical presentations, we have made the paragraphs. So here we can just move ahead and see how to write a paragraph with the other graphical representations. Now see, this is a linear graph. Now while looking at the graph, I hope it is visible. Now, just by looking at the graph, what can you see? Just don't look at the explanation or the paragraph which I have written. Just look at the graph. And just by looking at the graph, you understand so many things. See, look, England, this is, that in the question it will be given that what is this graph about? From there also you can take, or just by looking at the graphs, overs, runs, you know that it is talking about a match. Then looking at the things which is here, it is given in the bracket 49.6, 48.5. So you come to know that it is a 50 over match. Then again, that means it is a one-day match. Then it is played between England and Bangladesh. So all this information you are getting from this linear graphical representation. So what all things do you get? Now, just by looking at the number of runs, see, 386 runs scored by England and Bangladesh has scored 280 runs. So that itself shows that England decided to bat first, or England was asked to bat first. If we don't know who won the toss. So but we know that England has scored 386 runs. So that means they went for batting first. So from this itself, from the information, you can understand and write so many things. So first of all, you know that it is a one-day match. Secondly, you know that the teams are England and Bangladesh. Then you know that it is a one-day match. Then you know that England batted first. Okay. They scored these many runs. They lost 6 wickets. Okay. At the end of 50 overs. And Bangladesh, what about Bangladesh? They scored 280 runs. That means Bangladesh lost and England won. So you can write the heading or title accordingly. England won. England defeats Bangladesh. That can be your title. So 280, and that too, all the 10 wickets have fallen in 48.5 overs. So this is basically the information you get. Now, when you want to explain this graph, you will just look at these, and on the x-axis, it is the number of overs. In the y-axis, it is number of runs. So see how the number of runs is given. Now here you have been given this graph, but otherwise from the paragraph also, you must have done this in your mathematics. So you know how to jot down how to look at the coordinates, x-axis coordinates and y-axis coordinates, and just mark these, give mark the points, and then draw the lines, join the dots so that you get the line and you can get the linear graph. So that for that you have to mark the coordinates. Just because I don't have a board here, I'm not able to show you how to mark the points. But from here, I think from this graphical representation, you can understand so many things. Now, what do we understand? So many things already I have told you, but now when you are going to write, how will you write? See, England decided to bat first. And then what do you observe? That the first wicket partnership was like, yes, they played well. And until 20th, see, this is the 20th over. And until the 20th over, now these dots, they tell you about the fall of wicket. So that you can make out. You should be able to understand that these dots, they tell you about the wickets. So in the 20th over, they've lost the first wicket. That itself shows that they played magnificently till the 20th over. Then how many runs now? If you're not able to see from 140, look at the y-axis. Now from 114 to 152. Now here there is something. This must be nearly 150 or something like that. So this dot. So, but if you're not able to tell something about the runs, you can wait for, now you can just see here that at the first wicket was lost in the 20th over. Okay. Then the second wicket, then again there was a good partnership, and then the second wicket fell in the 33rd over. Then the fourth wicket, then the third wicket fell at the 31st, in the 35th over. And this is how you can go on explaining. And all the so these are the 6 wickets. How the 6 wickets fell, you can say. You can give the explanation about the 6 wickets and in which overs did they fall. Now in the paragraph also I have deliberately made 1 or 2 mistakes which you need to find out so that I understand whether you are able to understand the graph. Just go on. I have not given the full information, but at 1 or 2 places I have deliberately made some mistake. Let me see if you can find that mistake out. Now, you on your own. Now I have told you how to go about writing, giving the performance about the England team. Now you can talk about the Bangladesh team. So see, this red line is below the yellow line. So it tells you that the performance of the Bangladesh team was below that, below the England's performance. That is, the run rate of England was better than that of Bangladesh. So all these things you can write. So in your own words, again, you can say that see this 1 dot, which is at the in the 4th over. So that means the first wicket fell in the 4th over. So maybe batting second, they were under pressure because that was a huge total which they were chasing. So you can just write, and then the second wicket fell in which over, just see, and then from the graph you can find out this is 11, 12, in the 12th over maybe the second wicket fell. Then there was a good partnership. This is how you can go on explaining. And how did all the 10 wickets, they fell in see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wickets are shown here. 2 more wickets are not shown here, but till the 49th over the information is given. So that means in the 49th over, in the last over, 2 more wickets fell. So this is what you can write. And what was the conclusion? Because you need to give the conclusion also. So what was the conclusion? That England beat Bangladesh. Okay, by how many runs? 106 runs. Yes. So now we can move ahead. Now this is a flow chart. Just by looking at this flow chart, flow charts are very easy because you just need to see how chronologically things are done, and one after the other. What are the steps? Because it is a process, and in the process you have to give the you cannot just jump the process. You cannot give you cannot mix up the process. It has to be given in proper order. So here you, just by looking at the information, can you just guess what is it about? Now, manuscripts collected from both students and teachers. Then thoroughly screened, necessary additions, alterations, omissions are made. Preparing a rough draft, manuscripts along with a dummy sent to the printer, proof correction, and then sent for final printing. Now there is some, yes, now this is something is being printed here, and this is the process which is followed before something is given for final printing. Now whether it is a book, what is it a book? Now it is not a book, because these are manuscripts which are collected from both students and teachers. So if somebody is writing a book, now both students and teachers cannot contribute. Okay, so we'll drop that book idea. So maybe it is something related. What are the things, or where do you think students and teachers contribute? Maybe it is a school magazine, or maybe it is some school manual or magazine. So here manuscripts collected from both students and teachers. So you can give the heading printing a school magazine. Then what is the first thing? That manuscripts are collected from both students and teachers. Then you connect the sentences. Then they are then thoroughly screened. Necessary additions, alterations, and omissions are made. Then a rough draft is prepared. So you have to write proper sentences. Then the manuscripts along with the dummy are sent to the printer. Then after proof correction is done and the copy is flawless, because now all the mistakes are corrected. If there are mistakes, if there are print, then it is sent for the final printing. So this is how the process is done, process is followed. So you have to give the process in the proper order. So this is how we can do the process. Now we move ahead. Now this is do's and don'ts. Here are some tips about keeping healthy as given in a science magazine. Read and write it in the form of do's and don'ts. Now, see, on one side you write do's and the other side you write don'ts. We can give the title tips to be healthy. Now, just read the one sentence and see how, if it is a positive sentence, write it under do's. If it is a negative sentence, write it under don'ts. You must include vegetables and fruits in your diet and drink a lot of water. So this is a positive sentence. So now, you must include. So just make it into an imperative sentence. Remove this you must. This is understood. So when you are writing under do's, just write include vegetables and fruits in your diet and drink a lot of water. So you just have to drop this you must and make a sentence. So this is understood that you include vegetables and fruits in your diet. You is understood here. So include vegetables and fruits in your diet. Now look at the next sentence. You should avoid. So avoid means it is negative. You should avoid junk food and aerated water. So that means you should not. So don't eat junk food and drink aerated water. So here again, this drink has been omitted here. You write drink, the word drink should be written here. Don't eat junk food and drink aerated water. Then you shouldn't sit for long period of time. So again, it is a negative one, put it under don't. So don't sit for a long period of time. You should not means you do. So you put it here, don't sit for a long period of time. Then rather you should exercise daily, so regularly. So put it exercise regularly. So this is make it into imperative sentence. Then you shouldn't ignore the importance of good breathing habits. That means it is a negative one. So don't ignore. Don't means it. Don't ignore the importance of. So you should not and you should. So these are though, don't ignore. So all these are telling you where the sentences. It's the sentences tell you whether they should go in into the do column or into the don't column. Then try breathing deeply whenever you think of it. So that is breathe deeply. Breathe deeply. So again, whenever you think of it. See to it that you sleep for at least 7 hours a day. So sleep for at least 7 hours a day. And then you should avoid regular timings. In fact, so you say don't have irregular timings. So this is how, this is a very simple thing, but maybe many a times children make mistakes here. So just practice so that you know how to write the do sentences and how to write the don't sentences. Yes. Now this is a web. This talks about books. This web is about books. Books have the, now they will give you a question like this. Books have the power to inspire and do many more things. Observe the web diagram. Now they have given you 1 point that books inspire. So inspiration point is given here. They have given you 1 point. Now you have to write a paragraph covering all these points. Observe the web diagram and convert the information into a paragraph. Add a few more points to the given information. So how will you write? How will you cover all the points? So see how I have done? First of all, the treasure of books. Why or books dash mine of treasure. Or then you can start writing. Books have a power to inspire. They have already given you this. So move ahead. Reading about great people is indeed inspiring. So there are motivational books. So we have covered motivate also. So there are motivational books which instill confidence in us. Books give us pleasure. We can read interesting. How do they give pleasure? Then we can read interesting stories about different people and places. Then knowledge. So we can get knowledge from books. They can teach you innumerable things. They are a treasure house of knowledge. We have books on literally every topic. So you get knowledge. Why? Because there is a lot of information on so many topics. Books help us to learn about language and build vocabulary. So I have added some points on my own. You can add some more points here. I was short of time, so I have just written a small paragraph, but this much is enough. You can write 1 or 2 points more. So this is how you can see how this web diagram can be converted, how the information which is given in the web diagram can be converted into a paragraph. So I think I have come to, it is 7 o'clock and now it is time for us to take up questions. And because I think most of the things were really simple, it is just how to interpret the information, just like how I interpreted the cricket graph. You just have to look at the graph and see what all information you can understand from that graphical representation. Okay, now we move on to the questions.
So, ma'am, hardly there are any questions. Can they use color? This is from the YouTube. Can they use color in the pie chart? That is the question that I have got.
Yes, they can use colors because that is one of the ways by which they can highlight the different areas. They can.
Then they're saying, how much time should we spend on this question?
Actually, it is 5 marks. So you can, like, if you have divided the whole question, if you have given what you say, if you have worked on the areas, you can divide the question paper and see how much for 5 marks, how much time you should be giving, because you know it.
It's 10 minutes in the, I think.
Yes, 10 minutes is, I think, because you know 10 minutes is sufficient for people to make a diagram, or because you know generally the paragraph is also just about 6 to 8 lines. So I think they can the information and the table, if it is a table, it is already many a times the table is made, many a times the tree diagram is made. So you know, you don't have to think much. Some of the points are given. So I think 10 minutes are sufficient.
Okay. One student is asking, are we supposed to include all the points in the, while making it into a verbal one, from non-verbal to verbal?
Yes, yes. All the points should be covered, because unless and until you cover all the points, you won't get the marks.
So this was Sachin Tahi. He was asking, in tree diagram, is it compulsory to write all examples in the diagram? That is what he was asking. In web diagram, there is only one sentence. We should write about it.
There is only one sentence about what?
In the web diagram, he's asked.
There is one sentence means? Actually, in the web diagram, there is so much of, like, yes, you can, all the points should be covered, and then you can add a few of your own points. So maybe 2 or 3 points on your own you can add.
Yeah, that is the only question.
Okay.
There are no more questions, but everyone's thanking you.
But this question number 6 is like comparatively easier. So I think because the information is given to them, they just have to convert it into a paragraph. Yeah.
Okay, so they're saying 15 minutes if they have given in the question paper for the information transfer. It again depends what much time. It's your discretion, students, how
Yeah,
much time.
Yeah, because maybe if in unseen passage they want some more time. It depends on where you want to spend a little bit more time. So it depends on you. So I think here for 5 marks, 10 minutes is fine, I think.
Anyone from the Zoom room wants to ask any question? No one? Can you type in the chat box if you all have any question? So I feel you have covered most of the point, and yeah, they are quite happy. And it was really this is a very lengthy session because you have covered all the types of information transfer. It was bar graph, pie chart, then flow chart. So it was many. So I
Actually, you require a board for this. If you have a board, you can explain, see how to mark the points, and how even the graphic. If you want to make a pie chart, I could have shown how the sections can be painted and how the sections could be marked. Minor, this thing also you can mark. So just because we are not using the board, I think I feel handicapped because of that. Yes.
No, but it was a very interactive session. On the YouTube, there were a lot of comments. They were trying to understand and repeating the answer. Yes, it is like this. It is like this. Or whether they have to divide it into 3 parts or 1 part. And in the especially from verbal to non-verbal, they were very much concerned about from verbal to non-verbal. Yeah, so they have written question whether they are supposed to make a pie chart, and they have also asked whether the pie chart should have proper measurement.
That is what I told you, because in 10 minutes, how are you going to? So that's why I showed you how to make that pie chart. That will not be very accurate, but still you can get that accuracy if you can. If you give me some more time, I can explain that many a times it is not in percentage. I was just going through the question paper, and there was some information written in kilograms also. So this vegetable is 100 grams or 1 kilogram or something like that. So if something is given in grams, so if it is 500 grams, so you can say that the whole circle is 500 grams. And if something is, if you divide that circle, it will be 250. Then again, if you divide it in 4 parts, it would be again 125, 125. So that is how you can make the divisions, so that it will be done faster, and you don't have to think about mathematical calculation, but still you can reach very near to that.
So with this, we come to an end of this session.
Yes. Okay.
So thank you, Dr. Manjushri Sardeshpande, for volunteering your time and providing us with such an informative and engaging presentation on the topic of information transfer. The topic explained by you will be of immense help for the students, and I hope our students will surely apply all the details explained by you. I also thank Mr. Nadeem Khan for providing the necessary technical support to MNET. And thank you all the students who are constant every day they are there watching the series that will help them in their future exam. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you, student. Thank you, Nadeem.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Renu.
So I just end the.
Yes. Okay.